So for number 5, we would like to know which states tend to experience the longest departure delays. So for that, let's go ahead and create that. Let's open a new worksheet and rename this as departure delays. Okay. In this worksheet, I'm going to create a map. So what I'm going to do is put the latitude and longitudes right here. I'm going to put my longitudes on the columns and my latitudes on the rows. That creates a map like this. In this map, I want to have my airline as a filter. So right now I'll just select all, apply, OK, and show my filter on the side. Then I am going to add the origin state on the detail. And finally, so this is making a symbol map. You want to change it to a field map. And then all of these are same color right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put average departure delay on color. So this is my average departure delay. I will take that one, put it on colors, and then instead of sum, change the measure to average. The color that shows up right now is in green, so let's go ahead and edit the colors. I'm going to check red, blue diverging, and then you can adjust reverse color because we want shorter delays to have a blue color and longer delays are bad, so red color. So let's go ahead and apply and OK. So that's your chart. And since we have filters on the side, you can let the users pick which flights they want. This will help you answer the question, what state has the most delays considering delays from all the airlines? Finally, you are expected to organize these worksheets into the dashboard shown below. And note that the selection of the right updates both the map and the line graph and the bar graph. So we have these three charts and we want all of these selections or filters to work for all three of them. So let's go ahead and do. The next sheet we need to create is for the average airtime, which is going to be part of the dashboard. So let's go ahead and create it. I am going to rename this sheet as average airtime. And in this sheet, I want airlines to be my filter and airlines also to go out on columns. And hit OK for filters. Then I want airtime, which is right here. I want that on my rows. And instead of sum, I'm going to change this to average. So the comparison makes sense. Now I'm going to create a calculated field. For that, we need to go to Analysis tab and then go down to Create Calculated Field. And we are going to call it Average Airtime by Distance. So okay, and the formula that I'm going to use is going to be basically average of airtime and divide that by distance. So take the airtime and divide that by distance in miles. And once that calculation is done, we are going to hold to it and then take an average of this one. So it would be better, since we are not taking the average now, you can take the average out. Just call it airtime by distance. And go ahead and hit apply and OK. You want to make sure that the calculation is valid before you hit OK. So this variable is a new calculated field based on the formula we just entered, and that's what we will use to color code our data. So I'm going to put that on color, and instead of sum, I'm going to use average. Since this is green, let's change the coloring scheme. I'm going to change the color to red blue diverging. Try to avoid red green diverging because that is problematic for people with color blindness. And we want red to be bad, it means higher is bad. So let's reverse this. Higher values are red, lower values are blue. So apply and OK. Now let's go ahead and make our dashboard. So I'll click on the middle icon here to create a new dashboard. And then I can bring any of these worksheets that we need. So if you look at the picture, the first worksheet we are going to be working on is departure delay. So I'm going to make sure my floating is clicked here. And then I will go for departure delays and bring it in. Just by having floating clicked here, what that does is it gives us the flexibility of arranging things as we want. So if you want to go ahead and work on it and then move things around, you can do that. So this came with its drop downs. Let's go ahead, rearrange them. Then you can arrange things like this. The next sheet we want is daily flights. So let's make sure the floating is highlighted. Then let's drag daily flights in here as well. I'll do the same thing for average airtime. And now we can go ahead and change things around. So I'll put this filter here as well, this legend here rather. Then we can adjust the size of all of these. So this looks much better and more readable. So let's do some of those things real quick. There's no hard and fast rule about it. It's more like whatever looks good to you aesthetically, so you're not leaving too many empty spaces and utilizing the space on the chart well. So I'm going to drag this one a little bit down. So that's what we have so far. A lot of time people like to move the legends onto the chart that they are corresponding to. If there is no space on the chart, you may like to move them very close to that chart, which is using that legend. Okay, for this filter, we want to make sure this filter is to be used by all of these charts. To do that, I'm going to click on the filter and look at this arrow for more options. One of the arrows is going to be apply to worksheet. So which worksheet should it be applied to? Right now, it is only applied to departure delays, but we can click on all using related data sources or all using this data source depending on what you want. So let's go ahead and do this. Now let's say what happens. If instead of all, if I uncheck all, everything went away. If I check all my charts are back. Let's say if I just want AirTran, so all my charts are now corresponding only to AirTran. I'll select just a few of them and you will see that all my charts are now corresponding to just those values. So you can see the same things here in the first chart as well as in the last chart. So that's all. Go ahead, make sure all the screenshots are in there and make sure all your narratives are there to answer the questions correctly. That's all.